What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Calgary Barbell. We are here for another training log. We are ramping into IPF Open Worlds, and after last block being such a disaster, things are really cooking. We're back on track here, which is very exciting. So day one, came in, hit my comp equipped squat, went up to 357.5 kilos, 2.5 or 5 kilos ahead of where I was planned. So again, like I said, things are on a very good pace at this point. So I hit that single. It was pretty close to depth, still breaking in the new suit, so it's gonna take some time. I think I'm starting to get a pretty firm grasp on that, but it's one of those things that's gonna take a little bit of time with the new suit, and I'm gaining weight again, so there's some confounding factors in there. But anyways, finished that workout off, that squat session off with 6 singles, 330 kilos, varying depths here again. Some better, some worse, but I really do like having just a crap load of singles, and that's what I've been doing for my squat and my deadlift right now. And it seems to just allow me to really sort of achieve this technical perfection where the weight is just heavy enough, but not too heavy that it's, beating me into the ground. I'm able to get, almost all the way to depth with my comp squats, and everything just feels really good. The last time we did this protocol, things responded super well. I also did my comp bench that day, worked up to a single at 230. So I touched one single, and I don't believe I filmed that one, but I didn't touch 2 other singles that same day. And again, just kind of, like I said last week, playing with the how jacked down the collar is and the height of the collar, to try to understand, okay, where do I need to be for first, second, third attempts? What's the difference in the groove and the bar path if I pull the shirt down versus leave it up more? And trying to, I guess, just create different references for that and have an idea of where things need to be, so when I get to the meet and really want to throw some weight on the bar, I know where that shirt needs to sit and how it needs to feel. My second day came in, and again, out ahead 5 kilos on my equipped comp deadlift. If anybody followed along my Instagram, the last block, again, like really just bad decision making. Couldn't get the suits to work, just bad equipped deadlifting. But this block, coming out of the gates really strong. I pulled expectations way back, and now I find I'm actually exceeding my current expectations, which is a really good feeling. So I pulled 345 for a lightning quick single, 0.26 meters per second, which is up there with my back off work, which was mostly around an RP 6. So yeah, really happy with that. Backed off with a whole bunch of singles at 320, and I think, again, that's the sort of, lots of singles protocol seems to be working really well for my equipped deadlift, helping me kind of iron out some of those technical issues that I was having last block. Also got to a low pin bench press, or like a chest level pin press on that day. Worked up to 167.5 kilos for a solid 7.5 RP. Some volume work there as well. I find the pin press is a little bit different day to day. It depends on the rack. If I go in the Eleiko rack, I have to actually sink into my chest to get to the pins a little bit on my on the highest pin setting. But if I use one of the ER racks, then I can usually set it right at just the right point. Did some front squats that day, and worked up to about 165 kilos for 6 total reps. It's like 3 reps, 30 seconds rest, another 3 reps. But I find that's a decent little protocol for something like a front squat, where your position gives out before your actual strength does. So since Mike's been prescribing that for my front squats, I've really been liking it. My day 3, for anybody who followed along last week, is basically just my raw comp day. So I raw comp squatted, raw comp benched, and then did some overhead press, which actually got moved this week. But up to 245 for 4 on my comp squats, which again is sort of approaching, I don't know if I want to call it like pre-injury strength, but it's feeling really good. It's feeling really smooth. It's feeling consistent. I can like push my squat again without having to worry about, okay, I need to be oriented just so, and if the rep gets too heavy and I mess it up, then it's gonna hurt. And it just kind of is a non-concern anymore, which is great. So worked up to 245 for 4 there, which I was really happy with. Hopefully by the end of the block, we'll see like 260, 265 for 4, which would be really great for my raw squat. Comp raw bench is cooking. 170 for a single at 7.5. 162.5 for a triple at a 9, which is 2.5 kilos less than my best bench triple ever. And that was a full-blown 10, 2.5 kilos more. So super happy to see that. And my raw comp deadlift, so day 4 starts off with raw comp deadlift, and I've found that, again, since pulling back, lowering expectations, I've been able to really get into the groove where it just feels snappy and natural and like it should, like it did. I'm not like questioning whether or not I'm a good deadlifter anymore, which I honestly did for a little while. I had troubles with both my raw and equipped deadlift. It just wasn't clicking. It wasn't what it needed to be, and I feel like it's there again. So I worked up to 295 for 4 on that day. They all flew nice and quick. Then one of my favorite variations right now is the mid-pin bench press, which should maybe be a little bit higher in the range of motion, but it's about a 1 board. And I hit a nice smooth single at 190 kilos there. I think my best on this variation is 200, so hopefully we'll get a little bit out ahead of that by the end of the block. Triple at 175 kilos, and then that was the day I did some overhead press. So yeah, that was the week. And the album recommendation is going to be a little bit unconventional this week. It's not going to be heavy training music. It's going to be the album that I pretty much always listening to after heavy training on my way home. We actually just listened to it here in the gym. Now I forget the name of the album. It's by Lord Huron. Let me find the thing here. The album's called Vida Noir, and it came out in 2018. Just a fantastic way to kind of chill out a little bit. It's got some rockier songs, some songs with a little bit more up-tempo, but overall I find it super relaxing. I find it an incredibly well-crafted, well-put-together piece of music, so I definitely recommend that. I give it like 5 normal-looking Bryce heads out of 5 because it's probably one of my favorite albums of this year, I would say. I know it came out in 2018, but I just discovered it this year. So lastly, we'll leave you with a little toss over to our question of the week. We talked a little bit about recovery methods and some of the best ways that you can make sure that you're recovering from your workouts so that you can make progress in your training. Go ahead and check that out over here. We'll leave all that content for that video. Now, that is gonna be it. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask them in the comments below. If you want to talk about anything that I've said in this video or any of my lifts or anything like that, go ahead and leave in the comments below. Leave a like if you liked it, and hit that subscribe button if you want to stay tuned as I get ready for IPF Open Worlds in Dubai. We'll see y'all later.